I've been in and owned a fair amount of mansions in my day. Some are so large they have full-sized bowling alleys in them. Some have massive buildings just dedicated to staff. I've been in mansions with aquariums, but those pale in comparison to the largest mansions in America. Today, we're going to take a look at the largest mansions in the United States. We'll talk about how much they cost to build and what exactly they fit in all that space. Number 3. Arden House. Located in a town that was actually named after the original owner of the home, Arden House is a mansion of opulence, harkening back to days where railroad magnates could afford to build palaces that it's hard to even imagine creating now. Back in 1886, Edward Henry Harriman decided to use the fortune he had earned as a railroad executive to build himself and his family the mansion of their dreams. Over the years, that evolved into a 97,188 square foot home, full of expensive paintings, artwork, tapestries, and silk. Set on 355 acres, Arden House is set on the grounds of a former farm. The property has dozens of walking trails that meander through forests and meadows. There's also a 125-acre private lake, which allowed the original owners a place to set sail on their boats and savor the warm, sunny days in New York. The original coach house still stands on the property at the edge of the long, winding driveway. Today, there's a large pool and entertainment area with tennis and squash courts, which makes hanging out in the courtyards even more enjoyable. The home itself is astounding and imposing, with intricate stonework on the chateau-esque exterior, which is carried through the interior of the home. The flooring in the halls are composed of ornate brickwork, with geometric patterns carved into the ceiling above. The most impressive room, however, is the music room. The dramatic room was designed to resemble a medieval great hall. Stone carvings adorn the balcony, ceilings, and the crown molding. There's even bighorn sheep carved above the organ. The sitting room harkens back to the grandeur design that was favored at the time it was built, and includes oak woodwork and imported tapestries. Currently, the estate serves as a conference hall for environmental conservation. There are 97 guest rooms in the original bedrooms and guest rooms of the house, and massive conference rooms to allow for large groups. Number 2. Oaxaca Castle. Also located in New York, Oaxaca Castle is the second largest mansion in the United States, and nearly twice the size of the White House. Well, that comes as no surprise. The home is built on 443 acres at the highest point on Long Island, allowing for stunning views of the water and landscape below. When just the land was purchased in 1914 by Otto Kahn, it cost him the equivalent of $158 million today. But the home he built on it would cost much more. Otto aimed to build a home made for hosting large gatherings. He wanted it to be extravagant, fit for a king, and he certainly accomplished that. The home was so large and opulent that it became the inspiration for F. Scott Fitzgerald's Great Gatsby. Throughout Otto's ownership, he regularly held 600-person parties that would last through the night and into the morning. Altogether, the home has 127 rooms and spans over 109,000 square feet. Over the years, the house has been restored to remain its original integrity, a costly and extensive process that cost $40 million, making it the most expensive renovation in America. The original slate tiles of the home were replaced with identical slate tiles, which were sourced from the exact same quarry as the originals. 222 windows and doors were taken out and replaced with exact replicas, which were painstakingly made by carpenters. Otto designed the home with secret corridors and hallways in between the walls, allowing his 126 full-time workers to move seamlessly from room to room without ever having to see or interact with the guests. Personally, I'd like to use my secret tunnels just to jump out and scare my guests, but to each their own. The home is a French chateau style, and that is incredibly evident as soon as you enter. The main entryway has dual staircases with original hand-wrought iron railings and a chandelier. On the ground floor, you'll find the grand ballroom, which has wraparound windows, several chandeliers, and stunning architectural designs. Also on the ground floor, you'll find a terrace room leading out to one of several terraces. There are 2 large courtyards on either side of the entryway, a billiard room, a lounge, and an impressive library. The library has 2,000 books and 15-foot tall ceilings, with fireplaces on each end, creating an opulent reading environment on cold winter nights. The The second and third floor are home to several bedrooms, bathrooms, and lounge areas, as well as balconies and terraces. The home also has an original schoolroom on site to educate Otto's children. But perhaps the most interesting and luxurious part of the home is the original indoor pool. Practically unheard of at the time, the home's pool overlooked the gardens, with ivy and classical artwork surrounding it. In the basement, the current owner has carved out a man cave for himself, quite literally. The room had to be hand-carved out of the existing cement and now serves as a home theater. Outside, the English gardens are a thing of wonder. The walking paths surround fountains and rose gardens, which make for a perfect evening stroll. Also on the grounds, you'll find a private golf course. I mean, after all, this is the second largest mansion in America. And now, number 1, the Biltmore Estate. The largest mansion in America by a large margin is the Biltmore Estate, located in Asheville, North Carolina. The home is an absolute marvel that is currently open to the public for tours, and you might want to block out a full day to explore it all. The home is 178,926 square feet, with 250 rooms. Out of those 250 rooms, 35 are bedrooms, 43 are bathrooms, and 3 are kitchens. There's also 65 fireplaces in the home. I'm sure that's cozy. For quite some time, it was just the home of one family, a family with a name you might recognize, the Vanderbilts. George Washington Vanderbilt II wanted to have a little mountain escape built in Asheville, and he did a bit more than that. Construction on the home began in 1889. In order to build a home of such an extreme size, a woodworking factory and a brick kiln had to be built on site. During peak construction, they produced 32,000 bricks per day. For comparison, to build an average-sized home out of bricks, you'd only need about 8,000 of them. Railroads were constructed to bring other materials in. 1,000 workers and another 60 stone masons worked full-time on the property for the 3 years it took to construct. And where was George Vanderbilt during all this? Well, traveling the globe, of course. He gallivanted through Europe, collecting items to bring back with him to fill his home. He bought furniture spanning between the 15th and the late 19th century, every piece of which is worth a lot of money now. The home was owned by the Vanderbilts for many years. During the Great Depression, it was open to the public to encourage people to visit Asheville and help stimulate the mountain town's economy. Currently, the home serves as a historic site, offering tours daily. The facade of the chateau-esque style home is covered in gargoyles, rosettes, floating tracery, and trefoils. The architectural style, not the cookies. Entering the home is a jaw-dropping experience. To the right of the entrance hall, you'll find the octagonal sunken winter gardens. The glass ceiling and beautiful arched doorways create a magical environment. Sculptured wood and a bronze fountain called Boy Stealing Geese only adds to the fairy tale aesthetic of the room. Left of the entrance hall, you'll find the Tapestry Gallery. The 90-foot-long room is lined with 16th century tapestries, the exact ones Vanderbilt brought back from Europe with him. At the end of the Tapestry Hall is the library, spanning 2 stories. The library contains over 10,000 books in 8 different languages. An ornate spiral staircase made of walnut winds around the room, leading up to the upper level. Here, you can get a better look at the Baroque detailing and the intricate ceiling painting. On the first floor, you'll also find the largest room, the banquet hall. The banquet room has a 70-foot-high barrel-vaulted ceiling. At one end of the room, the triple fireplace sits with intricate designs carved into the stone, and rare Flemish tapestries flanking it on either side. At the other end is an organ gallery, which includes a 1916 Skinner pipe organ. The table seats up to 60 guests. The cantilevered grand staircase wraps around a 4-story iron chandelier that has 72 light bulbs alone. And if you take a stroll up the 107-step staircase, you'll find yourself on the second floor. The living hall of the second floor extends from the grand staircase, leading to a portrait gallery and a formal hall. In the south tower, you'll find the master bedrooms. George Vanderbilt's room is gilded, with all the flair you'd expect from a bedroom in the home of this magnitude. There's an opulent fireplace, high ceilings, and lavish furniture, all custom designed. His room connects to his wife's through a Jacobean sitting room that is encased in carved oak. His wife's room is a Louis 15th style room, oval-shaped, with stunning crown molding and a painstakingly painted ceiling. The fireplace is a work of art in itself. There are several other bedrooms on the second floor, all of which have fireplaces, gilded accents, fine art, and silk draperies. The third and fourth floor were home to the housemaids, laundresses, and other female servants of the home. It is also home to the observatory, which gave Vanderbilt a place to look over his property with pride. On the polar opposite side of the home is the basement. Far from your run-of-the-mill dirt floor basement, the Biltmore's basement was once a place where work got done and fun was had. The service hub is located here, which includes a main kitchen, pastry kitchen, rotisserie kitchen, walk-in fridge, servants' dining hall, and laundry rooms. On the more fun end of things, there's a 70,000-gallon heated swimming pool, a bowling alley, and a gym that was once brimming with state-of-the-art fitness equipment. Since we all know rich people like to have fun, myself included, there is yet another wing dedicated to fun. The bachelor's wing houses a billiards room with ornamental plaster ceilings and oak paneling. Here, men and women would gather and enjoy each other's company. Secret doors on either side of the fireplace led to private quarters where female guests and staff members weren't allowed. In the private quarters, there's a smoking room and a gun room, which displays animals that were killed during annual hunts. And the home itself isn't the only remarkable thing. There's an attached stable and carriage house that totals 12,000 square feet. Outside the stables, the home is surrounded by park-like grounds. The estate was actually home to the first ever forestry education programs, which took students around the timber forests on the grounds. There are 75 acres of formal gardens, including a Roman formal garden, a bush and tulip garden, and a standard formal garden. In between these extensive areas of greenery, there are fountains and bowling greens, as well as an outdoor tea room and a conservatory. Beyond the gardens, there's a bass pond, a mill pond, and a lagoon, which was once used for fishing and rowing. So, there you have it, the largest mansions in the United States. Which one would you want to live in? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.